Ever been told you're not qualified, you're not ready, you're not enough? Good. This story is for you then, because what you're about to learn is one of America's greatest influencers, how they started out with zero credibility and changed everything. This is one of the most brilliant influence strategies ever created. A strategy so powerful, it took somebody from a complete outsider to the most talked about voice in American history. The story takes place in Boston in 1722, a time when women rarely wrote, when social status determined your voice. But one person was about to change all of that with nothing but wit, wisdom, and a fake identity that fooled everyone. Meet Mrs. Silence Dogood, a wise, obviously educated widow of a country minister who wrote letters that captivated colonial Boston. Her story was compelling. Born on a ship to America, father died during the voyage, becoming an indentured servant, educating herself through her master's library. Her opinions, revolutionary. Her writing, electric. Each letter more bold than the last. Each opinion more daring. Each critique more cutting. Each idea more revolutionary. Mrs. Dogood shared her life and her opinions with the readers of the New England Current. She would quote the terrible things that people would say about another. She would expose people's misdeeds. She would admonish drunkards and attack religious hypocrites. Mrs. Dogood ridiculed women's unnecessary, uncomfortable, hooped petticoats. She advocated for education for young women, and she suggested compensation insurance for widows and spinsters. But this wasn't just criticism, this was a vision for something better. While others whispered, Dogood shouted. While others accepted, Dogood challenged. While others looked away, Dogood pointed straight at the truth. She built an army of supporters. She sparked revolutionary ideas. She created unstoppable momentum. Then came the manifesto that set Boston on fire. Mrs. Dogood wrote, "I am an enemy to vice and a friend to virtue. I forgive private injuries, but I fight public wrongs. I love good men, but I despise arbitrary government and unlimited power." In Boston, they couldn't get enough. With each new letter, the whispers grew louder, the crowds grew larger, the influence grew stronger. Everybody wanted to know, who was this voice of truth? Who was this champion of change? Who was this force of nature? Even the newspaper's publisher couldn't figure out her identity, as each letter appeared mysteriously, slipped under the printing house door in the dead of night. Night after night, letter after letter, message after message, building an empire of influence from the shadows. But here's where this true story gets really interesting. Mrs. Silence Dogood didn't even exist. She was a fictional creation. And if ever discovered, the writer wouldn't just lose their voice, they'd lose everything. They'd lose their reputation, they'd lose their freedom, they'd lose their future, all gone in an instant. So, who created this masterpiece of influence? The guesses flew around Boston. It must be a professor from Harvard. Has to be somebody from the parliament. Clearly a seasoned political mind. Wrong. All wrong. They were all searching at the top, while the answer was hiding at the bottom, because the real writer wasn't a sophisticated scholar, a seasoned politician, or even an adult. No, Mrs. Dogood was the creation of a 16-year-old boy, an apprentice, one working at the very newspaper who published Mrs. Dogood, run by his older brother, a teenage boy who had something to say but knew no one would listen. So he created someone that they would listen to, someone they couldn't ignore, someone whose voice would be heard. So who was that 16-year-old boy, that master of disguise, that teenage revolutionary? It was the boy who would become America's first self-made success, the founding father of influence, the OG of the American dream, the man whose mugshot dons the $100 bill today. Yep, you guessed it by now, Benjamin Franklin. Yes, that Benjamin Franklin, the same man who would help write the Declaration of Independence, serve as America's first postmaster general, invent the lightning rod, and become one of our greatest founding fathers. Benji started his career by pretending to be a wise old widow. But here's what fascinates me about this story, and the great lesson to take away from it. Success isn't only about what you say. Often it's about how you package what you say. It's who people think is saying it that makes all the difference to your message being received. Think about that. Franklin didn't just change his message. He changed his messenger. He didn't dilute his voice. He amplified it through a different medium. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think that they need to change their ideas, soften their stance, compromise their vision, when what they really need is to change their strategy. You see, people don't resist great ideas. They resist how those ideas are presented. They don't block powerful messages. They block the messenger. And that's the $1 million lesson here. When they won't let you in the front door, don't quit, don't complain, don't retreat. Create your own door. Design your own entrance. Build your own platform. Because here's the reality. The world isn't waiting for another good idea. It's waiting for someone smart enough, strategic enough to package and present that idea so it cannot be ignored. Are you with me here? Good. So grab your Darren Daily Journal. Here's what steps to consider. Number 1, identify your voice blocks. What's stopping you from being heard? What limitations have others put on you? What identity boxes are you trapped in? Number 2, find your do-good moment. Ask yourself, how can I repackage my message differently? What perspective would people listen? How can I bypass the gatekeepers? And then number 3, craft your strategy. Not by pretending to be somebody else, but by finding a way to make your voice impossible to ignore. Because here's the truth. Your message matters. Your voice counts. Your ideas deserve to be heard. But sometimes the direct path isn't the best path. Sometimes you need to be as shrewd as Franklin. Remember, he didn't start as a founding father. He started as a teenager who refused to be silenced. So share below, what's your voice that needs to be heard? What's your message that could change everything? Choose your voice, package your message, make yourself heard. Your message is too important to be ignored, too valuable to be silenced, too needed to play it safe. Act boldly. Your impact awaits.